They got to SI by getting into Phase 3 at Montreal. From there, yeah, they limped completely out as they got decimated by FaZe. And here we are once again with these two teams. Clubhouse first up. So the delay is certainly there. The drop, though, comes through from Handies. They get moto control with 40 seconds remaining. Deals with the barbed wire. And the plan to go down inside of Arsenal now as well. Souls trying to get that down on the ground. There is one of those nitro cells from Ambi and a second as well. Followed up from Canadian. And that stall-out defense from Shopify will pay dividends. FaZe wanted to get moving at around that 40-second mark. Tried to force the action, but hadn't cleared out the site. Had found no kills and still have not. And Handy on the blitz is not going to be able to accomplish much from here. You should imagine from here, Shopify will get on the board.
Yeah, I mean, 10 seconds, both of them on half health. They do get a nice take onto the first, but it's pretty much instantly traded, and a couple of shots that may as well not exist.
Exactly what KDS is doing. Now they got the breach opened up, but again, time has already been dwindled down. This has been a successful round for Shopify, but now it comes down to actually winning your fights, of which Canadian could not. Here comes the pressure towards red stairs as well. Through side Zera, Rexon just goes for a walk and gets punished. That was not the position or the time to send in towards CCTV, as Ambi going for the flank. Basically, no.
They are still FaZe. Now, with the two players, Shopify Rebellion stacked up and ready to rock and roll. Who's going to be the first catch? There's the spray down onto one. The Revenge is going to start bleeding its way around, but no, somehow Grixer in the back of our mind gets one, and Ambi.
Cash if he can, along with CC Window. So Rexon's definitely one that in this round needs to be impactful as Cyber losing his life to Surf. There he is, Rexon watching. But there was one that eventually did push through from Garage, got the kill onto him, but it was immediately traded by Canadian, who was expecting that flank to come through. And Shopify Rebellion with a 3-on-1 as Souls makes his way into the gas babe, though, into what is a very dangerous position, deep inside a catch. With 30 seconds left, he is surrounded, and he seems absolutely hopeless in this position. Shopify Rebellion on the verge of a 3-0 start. Barring an absolute miracle here, and they're playing really patient here. Shopify aren't just hunting Emmy. They're falling back. They know he hasn't got the kit. I mean, this is absolutely beautifully well-played Siege. Fall back, don't peek, don't give him ones, don't let him have any kind of chance in this round.
I mean, there's the end of it, but let's sort of slow it down.
Monty, which he knows now. Yeah, he has a go, but he whiffs it a little bit to the left. But I think Canadian's thought process is solo Monty. No one playing behind. I can get that out. But now that second player is here. Handy, though, finding a double kill in towards the site. And in the end, it's 3 from Vidaking as it's a 5-on-1 FaZe. Absolutely clean up on site. This is something we haven't seen in this match so far. The 4th round, it is FaZe that take it comprehensively. Pretty much just the top, and they started well.
If it wasn't for a big rotation and a plucky bit of attitude from a stuck-in Logi play, it might have been and probably should have been a FaZe round. The first is Surf caught, and this is full focus FaZe once again.
In towards Con, just gives up a freebie to Handy. Ooh. Now the double push over towards top red. You've still got Canadian around Cash, and well, he's dead.
Oh, Ambi does get KDS, and you know, he started to try and put the pressure back in, but it's Rexon that's probably going to be the next that suffers the fate in the face of a Montaigne. There is some support coming on towards construction. They're on the door. The Monty's calling all of this out, and they've got themselves a little bit of cross angle, but it's a dangerous stack up.
Why are they fighting Cash?
Great take from that kill on the door, but I mean, the Monty change from Vidaking, just reading out or hauling all the information, puts them once again in a Grixer and Ambi versus 4 situation. Can they try and repeat the magic against the Monty?
Jacuzzi's not even open.
They don't need it. They're just
I know, but then why is
through.
Shopify playing Cash? Why are they trying to just triple down onto Cash position? You can fall back, play site. Jacuzzi's pretty much locked down. Ambi with another big pick. Grixer had to get that one. Not because it was easy, but because they absolutely required it. It was always a difficult shot. In the end, FaZe chaotic. And he's playing it quite well. He's playing it quite safe. Falls off when he knows the pressure's on.
Vidaking takes a huge blow. The first time we've seen the Monty suffer, but with Cyber running in and running right back out, Surf has the response. There's Ambi getting KDS, and suddenly Vidaking is a man on an island full of motorcycles. Can he try and find his way out of here? Could try and drop hit and get a rotate round. They're opening up some space. Handy's off towards the side of stock itself. They have Ambi trapped, caught, but they also only have 45 seconds. They can try and push themselves for the fight. They do. Now they want to try and keep pushing on. They have a good read on who's coming in behind them. Canadian, a huge fight.
Yeah, he's got trapped.
Look at the two players, both FaZe sort of saying, look, we know you are there. But all he's doing is trying to get exactly that reaction. Up main, there's the control coming towards the default plant. What do they have to stop it here?
I mean, a little bit of pressure now into Grixer and Surf as Canadian slowly making his way back through Con. That's so unfortunate for Surf to lose his life there into Cash. Really weakens the site now for Shopify Rebellion with the last 10 seconds into the round. There is Canadian late and slow on the opening kill for FaZe, but yeah, nevertheless, now the pressure on to Shopify. Oh, wow, Cyber's just completely pinned down.
I was like sort of waiting for that to popping and stopping every single entrance onto towards the door. The Blackbeard is desperate to swing around the corner, but look at all these FaZe bodies. 3 guns pointed towards the approach here. They know pipes is the story and the answer, but they can't quite get close enough. Handy locks down Surf on the side. They've got to apply pressure somewhere else. There is a body going deep, and Ambi gets one over the top. He's fighting for his life. He's looking for the next, but it's Vidaking and Souls that bring us into the 2 versus 2. Still caught out in it. Grix is trying to dig his way past the A-case on the back end of it, but now it's 2 separate 1 versus 1s. The first one to win is probably going to take the round, but there's only 10 seconds, so the pressure here is on Shopify. They're trying to swing their way round, but 6 seconds here. Vidaking gets a huge swing. That's the kit. That's the drop. That's the sprint for Vidaking. Unbelievable.
Always just play perfect, and that's not always going to be the case. They're human beings. They make mistakes, but FaZe, slow start, and then bam, it's just like a snap of the fingers, and suddenly they're just back to FaZe that we know. Ambi with a big opening pick on the KDS, who has now reached double-digit kills for Ambi, up to 11 with that kill onto Vidaking. Advantage for Shopify as they look to hit the site hard and fast. Grix are able to double down the advantage for Shopify, but short-lived. Ambi finally shut down. Big battle for Souls towards top red, slips in towards Cash. Can he find another pick as the plant goes down inside of CCTV? No one able to stop Canadian. The kid is on the floor, and we're into a post-plant scenario.
Threading the needle and dancing, dipsing, dodging, diving, and dropping the bodies either side of it, but as they just push their way through, Souls and Handy. And they have the option for the fight, and it's offered to them. He's on a triple, but he's still got to find 2 more. Could it be the first ace that we have of the tournament so far? Dockerby slips off into the night and has the cross cut ready for the swing. 20 seconds, 7 of that has to be on the diffuser itself, and you're trying to find your way across no man's land in a 90-degree fight. There's the first, but it's just offered a sliver. There is Shopify. Oh, dig that.
This is where you really do need to make your push. You don't want this to go down to 15, 20 seconds, for example. That's going to benefit FaZe. Soul starting to move around, play some off-angle positions. I like that position. Headshot swing onto Ambi, essentially covering 2 positions with 1 spot. Souls has played that perfectly. Does lose his life, though, as Shopify actually find 2 in quick succession, and with that, suddenly the door opens up for them.
They have the ping on the player underneath. They know there's only 2 inside the site, and they're in. Now they can try and get themselves off to the races and get the plant. They're on the bulletproof bed, but the bullets swing right their way across. Grixer immediately gets that response towards Vidaking, but 10 heavy seconds start to tick, and Handy ticks them right both off. FaZe inside it, stacked, ready to rock and roll on the kitchen hatch, but what are they cooking up? An Oster shield drops. They're going to get themselves deployed. It'll only take 1 explosive to stop it. They're tucked around the back. The cover's on the kitchen hatch, and Handy does get 1, but they're not quite confident enough to go for the plant. It's traded back and forth on towards Dirt, and Canadian, he's tucked, waiting, technically. A 3 versus 3 because Cyber is in no man's land. There's the attempt on the plant, and an attempt to try and kill somebody that's whiffed and missed, and a post-plant situation with vertical control. Sure, Vidaking has thrown himself in and got themselves locked down. They might even be able to get Cyber back up, which they're going to do right now, so it's a 4 versus 2. But as long as they've got vertical here, as long as they have this position, FaZe have to clean it out. They're going to have to send 2 bodies up. Grixer, more than ready for the first engagement. Deep across the bar, serving up pain. Now with 3 versus 2, 20 seconds. Again, 7 of that has to be the defuse, so they've only really got a pocketful to work with. They're playing against it.
Right side,
they're slipped around. There's the take, there's the drop. There's only a little bit left in it now. You've just got to hold it. But it's 1 that Shopify lock right back in.
I want to kind of put a downer on this right now for Shopify. It's the time factor. We've still got a lot of work to do in clearing out rafters. Canadian, of course, on the counter tower is going to have to get those bolts over. Headshot from Rexon, though, finds KDS.
They're in.
And so far, it's working out.
They're in and they're off to the races. Ambi, he wants to swing and put the pressure on.
They don't even know.
Is the second? He can't quite find it. But now, all the sort of alarm bells are a cacophony around them. Handy
start to make their way in. Canadian through rafters with the kit, and now it's all about getting it down successfully. Oh, a shot from Vidaking, no, onto Grixer. Side swipes his head, and suddenly now Canadian's entry into the site not going to be that easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely massive take. Doesn't get the second though. Look at the health on Canadian. He's a sliver, and they know they got to try and push right now because it's the only time it's a 2 versus 1. Under and over. There's the cover from the glass. But 14 seconds. A sliver of a pellet will be the end of it. Can they try and get themselves?
They're not sure where he is.
9 seconds. We are ticking our way once again towards the end. He's got to try and cross the divide. The distance.
He got off the block.
Why did you get off the block, Canadian? Hold back on. He's down. No.
What?
Unbelievable, Canadian.
What was that?
What?
No. Canadian has that composure. He just couldn't show it there in that moment. And that's the reality is it should be 6-5 to Shopify. Cyber them with the opening pick. And this is where FaZe are just so good. They will punish you. And now in your head for Shopify, it's like you've still got that little moment of doubt. Comes into this next round. Bam. 2 opening kills. Say goodbye to Rexen and Grixer. It becomes a 5 versus 3. And now FaZe are on the precipice of taking this opening map. But Canadian wanting to make amends. Big kill. 4v3. And Ambi looking to lose his life. Behind him, a little peek and a swing from KDS to spot out the attack of Shopify, and they are well prepped to try and take this map out. But Ambi, double headshot out of nowhere, and suddenly changes the course of this round and potentially the map until he's traded by Cyber. 2v2 into the final 20 seconds of regulation.
Barely any help on the side of Canadian and Surf, and Canadian goes down. Surf, he's got to try and get himself past them first. He does. He slipped himself on towards the back end of the dining table, and he's going to hold the plant for now, but with 10 seconds, they're just spraying themselves. Here's a man who holds his composure. There is Cyber, though.
That's what Canadian needed to do in the last round. Oh, FaZe get it done, though. 7-5 for what? Other avenues, and we know FaZe aren't just going to be a one-trick team. It's not like Bam Monty beat FaZe, but that is just something to consider to some degree. That if you want to find weaknesses within the FaZe.
He's his hold on the top floor, but can they find a single breath? It's a bit of emotion, and he doesn't quite get the connection. 2 for Surf, 2 left for FaZe.
I wish more teams would put pressure over towards meeting a conside when it comes to command and server. And this is where Shopify found a lot of success in this round. ADS will get one back, but he's by himself now. And even with the second over towards Electrical, it's largely irrelevant unless he can go and find the entire ace, the entire team required here for KDS to win this round for FaZe. Shopify should be able to kickstart this map with an attacking round win, which would be a very detrimental start for FaZe Clan. That is a wonderfully played round. You want to have 4 or 5 players on the site. You want to get second and first floor control. And typically, if you go second floor, you do rotate pretty quickly. Souls. I mean, you've got to know your position. It's an easy kill over on Clubhouse, and it all crumbled down pretty quickly. The Blackbeard, a nuisance, annoying. FaZe still just trying to make contact on this first floor, but it is not working out. FaZe are playing in a way in which they want these fights, but it's Shopify that are winning them.
Again, FaZe, they're holding onto the back end. They're spraying off towards EXO, but there's a Blackbeard that makes a quick Kool-Aid Man hello through the wall. The spray over the top on towards Vending at this point. Could this be?
This might be a timeout. This might be a 2-0 timeout.
I mean, it's probably not going to be a win. King has pulled off some magic before this point.
And the reason why I say that is there's not really a third site you're going to go to, so you're either going to
top position, getting yourself. The difference is
every position is slightly better than the one below it.
Yeah, that's usually
even
how
if you're
it
fourth,
works.
it's like, well, at least we're not out.
At least we're not out. And well, Andy is out of this round. Rexen gets the swing, back round gets the first, and this is that importance of a game like this because it could be the difference between, you know, the buy or not.
Yeah, and Handy's a big influence when it comes to this FaZe roster. He was 13-7 back on Clubhouse, a significant player. The Cyber 2 will fall at the hands of Ambi, who has found 2 kills in this round. And Shopify, with still well over a minute remaining, have just picked up the pace. They find a couple of kills. It's now a 4v2. Bit of a knockdown, though, onto Rexen, but Ambi's found it because you've got 4 players, Emmy. 4 players that are 0-3. They've played 3 rounds of Siege, and KDS is the only one that's got kills. As Cyber 2 loses his life. Ambi's putting on a clinic. He was
have the pressure here. They're just going to pop open the Goyo canister as Connector and Electric starts to become a little bit more of a danger point. There gets Surf, 1 more for his tally, and King does find 1 back. The second player on FaZe to actually find a kill in the 4th round. But 30 seconds. Look on the distance of the screen. Grixer, he's rotating his way around on towards blue. He's going to try and sneak in the back door as they smash their way towards the mirror window. Ambi tears it and they just hop their way in. What are you doing? The tornado that blows through the site itself. Soul's a sliver, but not for very long.
On defense labs, you know, I think that's why they're going for this send out, and they read him like a book, and that's exactly what I was saying. So you go for the run out from Electrical. Cyber, though, he gets caught into the trap set by Ambi and Co.
What?
But over towards Blue, it's a 1-for-1. And now it's still evened up.
First does. We saw them lose the shield. The drop of the Blackbeard there from the side of Canadian. The IGL can only sort of call shots now from the cams, but with Rexon calling all of them from the heavens above, Souls is drifting up and away from it.
Why do they do that? Because of the time factor. But then by contesting, guess what? Then you lose a player. Now, was this a misthrown onto KDS? I think the answer to that might be a resounding yes. Ambi will lose his life, becomes a 2v2. Vidiking makes his way back up cargo. KDS low on health, losing his life to Rexon, and all down to Vidiking in a 1v2.
And we have seen Vidiking win a 1 versus 2 before, but look at this. The rotate round on towards the back of the site, the focus. They're going for the plant on towards default. Do they know where he is?
Is it the corner? Oh, no,
Is the answer. Is he going to pull off the second magic trick in a row? They've planted on a different box. The approach.
Oh, no.
Rexon, you've got to pop your way around potentially. No, he's sticking it. No, he's caught Vidiking. This is a player who earns their place. He has been...
You kind of want to go towards rafters. You want to go electrical. You can even go blue. You can only be in one spot at a time. So it comes down to Shopify. They need to push and be aggressive where the clash is not.
Well, this is where the clash is going to be drawn towards Canadian. He's on the Blackbeard, making as much noise as possible, trying to force them out towards IT, which is in a position they can take. Smashes the mirror window, drops the eye in 50 seconds with a body advantage. They might be able to start trying to make things work, but Surf, he is the sort of response to the bait. They want the clash to swing a little bit wide, but they're not quite on the hook yet. You're still trying to find the fight. There's the hop over the top, but they were more than ready for it. Cyber finally finds his first bit of blood in this showdown so far. 30 seconds. You can see KDS is trying to eye up the same engagement, but he tucks himself a little bit further around because he doesn't want to give them the free, easy fight in the body. Two are here, and the Blackbeard is going to be the lead on through. It was almost a moment, but he's caught on the side. There's the pick back up. Will a player go for the drop? The flash electrocutes, but over the shoulder. The shimmy and the shake, and they're rocked right out of place. 10 seconds, though. At this point, they've got to try and find their way through, but Cyber quickly dips back round. You're charging at somebody that is currently stunned. You've got to try and get the knockdown. They're looking for the second fight with a shield.
Oh my God.
It's back and forth, but not quite. FaZe. He's being slowly surrounded. The cover of the smoke, and that gifts him a fight almost against the Blackbeard, though, because anybody else. But look at Vidiking's health. One breath of the smoke canister, he's gone. KDS tears with the Deimos pistol. Souls gets one of his own. There's a bit of an attempt round, but the timer here right now, Xenox. It's a 4 versus 1. Vidiking, he's going to see if he can try and get this secured. They know exactly where he's going, though, and they'll get that plant locked in on the opposite side. Now being tracked, he does at least get himself a frag, but is it just one of those sort of impactless exit ones? It's a very narrow line to try and drive yourself on. Compliments for FaZe there. They took that single breach, the pressure on towards rafters. They made it work. But at this point, you know, will it be again? Skipping a jump away, and the angles that have been opened up above, the pressure that the ramp can introduce is that danger point. Here it is. Throw on towards the Exo side, and they're actually going to drift in towards the engagement. Canadian gets one, but gets traded out by hand. He didn't expect 2 players, but he might expect another fight that follows through. It's actually the watch that goes against them. Vidiking perfectly predicted the motion of the player there. Not sure if they had intel, but the read was good. The cover of the sense wall, the light gadget, get themselves a bit of a route in. Surf is suffering, battered. It's an aggressive fight here on the door that is an important one to win out. The Surf does actually go down now. Will they try and stop the plant, or will they go for the pickup of the player? The risk of the C4, I mean, a little bit more for touch and go site that Shopify could have gone anywhere. They've opted to try and hit their tertiary. The break comes all the way through, cuts their way right across. There's one. The second is going to be picked up by the Deimos, and FaZe just absolutely clear their way through into the site and say, this thing that you got, oh no, it's ours now. This is FaZe's territory. Let's just run into site. Let's just go in towards, you know, the big sort of warehouse area. We have a route through. There wasn't anyone that was watching it. There wasn't anyone that was on rafters because of the slight breach.
Oh, Ambi, that's a big kill on to Cyber. Rexon also to find 1, then 2 in quick succession, and Shopify flip their own switch, and suddenly have been able to focuses is pretty much over. Souls effectively on 1 HP. And Canadian will get himself the easiest kill of this series.
I mean, at that point, you know, when you're just limited to 2 players, your Ash is 1 HP. Again, it's a 1-headshot game, but they also still have all of their hold up. Flawless. And, I mean, it's actually kind of is...
Shopify have been very competitive against a very good FaZe clan.
Oh, yeah. This has been a great... And this is the thing about Shopify.
Oh, that's a freebie, though.
Oops, there's the trade.
Standing still.
Very important pick back up there to make sure Cyber can strike here. It could be huge. He is technically deep behind enemy territory, and which route he picks is the most important. There's 2 players this way.
Oh, my
There's
goodness.
one. Does he know about the second?
Oh, he didn't.
Oh, he doesn't need to, but he's able to somehow escape the play behind it. The wall behind him is solid. And what a sneaky little moment, but again, more attention. Now, Canadian is stuck. There is no way out, but this ready C4 is if they drop, they'll blow it on the castle and take the player out on the other side. But at this point, FaZe, look at them. All 3 remaining players are laser focused on a single hatch drop. They're sending it.
Wait, does
they
he know?
haven't heard
Does he know?
He does know, and he gets it. Canadian swings around, another goo mine for the trouble. All right, send the next one here. Handy and Souls, what do you do? It's a 4 versus 2, less than 40 seconds. They now have a crossfire because the castle is gone as well. The smoke canister, I believe, pops off. They're going to drop in the back of it. Canadian takes a lot of damage swinging it. There's the motion, but there's the cover. They get 1 kill. Now they've got to try and get the rest with 20 seconds left. At this point, the diffuser's still at least close to them. The castle's going to slow them down a bit. They're having to deploy a hard breach charge. Precious time taken away and a bulletproof, giving the read on everything. The impact EMP just to stop it. Give themselves a second.
Nicely done.
Shopify, they're able to do it. Double down. It's paper thin at points compared to the others. You're only really a couple of steps away, and you can see that divide perfectly illustrated. But it's a risky fight you want to take, but you win it out. Rexon instantly pivots the 180 down towards the bottom, but the plant is attempting to be secured. They're missing the shots in the smoke. FaZe, full faith in the cover, and the man's reloading. The man can't get it, but Ambi does. Souls gets it, but it's a post-plant situation. So Cyber sneaks his way in with Ambi getting Vidaking. It just takes 1 moment. 1 player, 1 drop, and there's some of the vertical, and now they've got the overwatch on towards the kid itself. They're not going to be able to defuse it without getting this player out, and the blue pinch on the other side. It's surrounded. Canadian gets Cyber. There's the rotate round. There's the play back on. There it is. Shopify Rebellion secure it. Hold the key and get it locked in. Monty's back on the board. Blackbeard instead is the shield that is gone at this point. Habana is the removal.
You don't need to ban the Monty on Bank. I personally don't think so. I like the black.
Try and stop it by spraying through, but the Echo drone is actually the difference maker right now. You can see the slow approach of the Nook is blinded out. Vidaking takes the drop on the top of Rexon now, and it makes things a little bit more possible for the plant. Canadian dips his toes in towards the fight on green. They pull themselves back in. They're going to attempt the plant once again, and now the pressure is stepped up right towards the door itself. They're not able to get it. It's a post-plant situation. 7 players still stood. The drop down on towards goal, but it's instantly traded out from the back of the garage on the far side. 36 seconds ticks away, but there's a player all the way on the top floor. Surf. He found himself new ground, new territory. He's going to try and retake and find the fights above, but the Canadian trying to dip himself inside the site as well. Look how little FaZe are giving them. They know the approach. They know the positions. He's going to hold for the long arm. He takes the drop. It was questioned before, but now there's the trade out.
Way.
Surf
No way.
spins in a circle and sends them out of there. Now they have at least some of the eyes and angles. There's nobody that's intent on throwing themselves out the window as of yet. Surf, the hero of the last time round, is the first to be removed. There's no, there's no real location for him to sort of do the dip down and tuck around that he played so masterfully before the blinds. Towards the side of Banana here at the top of the spiral stairs, but it's the control over White that doesn't actually go their way. There's some important cover. There's 2 kills that come through from the side of Shopify, but FaZe, they bleed their way in towards the site, and they have a single player behind them. KDS, he's going to stick it. He's going to trust that Handy has the lockdown. Where's the camera? It doesn't connect to the roof, but the smoke canister does get the kill. It's now a 1 versus 2 technically. And get through to getting the player back up. He's downed outside. How aware are they? The shotgun pellets are peppering and putting the pressure on. But Hamby, he wants to play against the kid itself. Handy, he's gone the long way round. He's going to see if he can get it. Are we going to see the second hold? Hold your nerve. Hold that round.
In hand, outside over towards Plaza. on the rappel. Oh, and Vidiking just doesn't even know really where he's getting shot from, standing out in the hallway in the elevator, and Surf will get the opening pick. There's a second to follow from Rexon. 90 seconds left into the round. It's all kicking off. Big kill back from Souls, needed that. But
trying to piece things together. It's sort of played into the fact where it's felt a little bit disjointed, but they're seeing opportunities, and they're a great team to strike from. Their mid-round adaptations are fantastic from the side of FaZe, but again, Shopify Rebellion, they have a bit of awareness, and wherewithal, Grix, where was all that? Just locked it down. KDS drifted, and again, it's these little moments where it seems like they've got an idea, but there's just one little secret part of a plan that Shopify Rebellion are able to keep and hold on to. The Azami slips by a fight. They'll call that they've gone on to white, but they don't know if they've gone up or down. In fact, they've come right back round. They want the engagement. It's not theirs to take. Handy gets one. He said he's back. He's got to be more than back.
He needs his teammates. He needs his teammates. He's the only one doing anything on Bank so far. There will be a timeout after this, I imagine. As we've gone around the world, it'll be 3-0 for Shopify. FaZe will need to talk things over because it's another slow start. 3 maps in a row, and that's concerning. You know, 1 or 2 times and you can forgive it, but when it becomes a 3rd map in a row, that's a problem. You know, that is a decent sample size.
Smoke canisters in the pocket and an echo drone. Perfectly pre-placed and lined up. There's the loop round over the top. The Tubarao is also trying to slow things down, but the C4 is the most important slow. Souls is caught. That's going to put the kit cold on the default plant location, so it's not the end of the world, but in a 4 versus 4 with Handy in a propped up position and a great grenade kill on towards Rexon. How do they try and turn this into a round win here, FaZe?
You got Yokai, you've got 1 Gas Babe, that's about it. And position and numbers with FaZe. So it's a pretty even final 30 seconds coming up. FaZe, though, with the extra player, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, they have the vertical, they have the watch from deep, they have the position,
that's
and
clean from Handy.
Beautifully taken on towards the first. They actually just drop into the side at this point. They've realized it's a 4 versus 2. We know where they are. Let's go for the flood while they go for the plant. It is secured. Great play there from FaZe.
Seconds, Handy with 1 logic bomb remaining and starts to make his push now through archives and making contact with Surf. The shotgun opens up the wall, but only makes it easier for Handy to get the kill. 4v4, final 30 seconds.
They hope that they're able to get him pressed against the wall, but they haven't been so fortunate. So now it's a drive towards Janitor. They're not going to go for that sort of plant play because it's on the other side, but there's a dip round and a rock from Grixer. Now, holding on to the split outside the breach itself, caught! On the side of Spiral, just drifting up into no man's land, and KDS has taken a breather, leaving Souls with 4 players to try and cut his way through, and only 4 seconds. I don't think it's going to be done, because it's pretty much literally impossible. Now, Shopify, what have they done here? They've
approach. Out of elevator goes Surf over towards Vault. Maybe anticipating that FaZe are going to go for a bit of a different angle of attack. They do lose Canadian. That's a big power kill. The smokes, the gas babes, they're off the board. With the final 40 seconds remaining, it does open things up for Shopify.
There's the spray through on towards the drop there, but they're inside the site. They've screamed their way across a 4 versus 3 and entirely taken them a bit by surprise, but back and forth still traded out. Grixer and Rexon both stuck in gold. Wants to swap to the Echo drone as the plant is being secured. Can it make it in time? It's up. Oh, it gets the threaded needle, finds the drop, and the Echo drone rotates around towards the bottom of green, but the pressure, the attention from Rexon, the second hit misses. It's a post plant. And now a 3 versus 1. The Echo trying his best to get the lock in here. Couldn't quite stop the second plant attempt and gets locked in. 4-2 is how the half is playing.
Doing everything they can, though, to try and deal with this smoke.
He said it was about 45 seconds, and we hit that mark as soon as the first one popped off. You can see the watch on top of the sort of hatch, but there is a shotgun. Kaid, he's positioned right on the... In fact, not Kaid, it's KDS. Same gun, different man. It's Goyo, ready for the hatch drop to come through. Gets Grixer as Grixer gets Vidiking, but it's Surf. Gets the trade out on towards it, a 2 versus 4. But they're still going to try and long arm those smokes. Canadian has to pull himself out, 15 seconds. He cannot sit and wait for that position to be cleared. They have to try and push themselves deeper in towards the side itself and through himself. Up towards the watch, there's the drop, there's the play on towards it, and Souls with the rotate gets one. But now, with the attempt on the plant, the security and the cover, that is Shopify Rebellion winning. Thermite instead, but it's the pressure on towards the window. Seems to be the first approach. Look at Canadian, the blitz. Can't quite get himself. Round the corner, the cover is there from Ambi. They're ready to start making their way inside. There's the very shaky fight and a team kill. Oh no, a misinput. Souls!
Well, Vidiking's down, so it's not as bad as it may seem immediately. 2v3, depends on if Vidiking can get back up. No, of course not. Finished off by Surf. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but Ambi still got the initial kill to begin with. It's unfortunate he took down Canadian, but they still got the other kill anyway. And it's more so the fact that they lost Rexon elsewhere at the same time. If they didn't lose Rexon, it could be a 3v3 right now, and, well, we wouldn't really be worried about the team kill, but yeah, Kit recovered. Poor old Canadian, 60 seconds left, got shot in the back of the head. It does happen to Shield players every now and then. Still a winnable round for Shopify, but this is the kind of round that FaZe should and really likely will collect because of that small error, that small mistake from Ambi, who's been playing so well in this series and has every chance to probably be the MVP of the series overall between both of the two teams. But with 35 seconds left, so much to do for Surf and Grixer. Could they pull off a very heroic round?
Well, it's even more of a meteoric challenge at this point. He knows their inside tellers, but the tale being told is that we're moving on to the next. Still have 2 smokes, but you're throwing yourselves into potentially a C4, potentially just impacts to get the end of it. The keeper barricades can try and build their way back in. And there's the first pop of smokes, and Ambi's going to use that as his way to thread himself through the head. Looks for the second, can't find it on the long desk, but they're inside the building, inside the site, and tucking themselves close here. Caught out, but it's Surf
Canadian,
that has the cover in handy. You're not really sure what's going on. Surf has to swing himself in. They were trying to go for a bit of a bait and a play, but through it all, it was red. FaZe, 2 rounds now in a row. The first probably can't win that one. The removal of the mines, the steady play around, the change of the control on towards Vault Hatch, and the Clash doing this. Exactly what I talked about before, but oh no! I don't really know if there's a reference
dead.
to...
I mean, your Clash is down.
It's just the C4, the second take, the second time a shield has been taken by their own team and their own players at this point. The 4 versus 5 towards. The fight is now actually a 4 versus 4 based on how that connects. The confusion potentially.
Well, there's only one shield up now, and that's on the side of Canadian and Shopify. With no Clash, this becomes a far more winnable round for Shopify going into the final 30 seconds. Yes, it's 4v4, but the Clash is a big part of the round for FaZe, and they no longer have it. There's the push through from Rexon towards Garage. They do lose Surf to Handy. Big kill. And suddenly the advantage back over to FaZe.
It's late, 15 seconds, and they're just trying to get some modicum of control here over the side. A lot of damage onto KDS, and Canadian pops 1, but KDS and Cyber drive themselves right back in. It is just Canadian in the middle of no man's land. FaZe, they tie us right back up.
There's the chance. It's a miss. That was an opportunity for Cyber and for FaZe to get on the board nice and early. Handy does so anyway, dealing with Rexon, who has struggled since Rehos, and it's a Cyber that goes wandering, losing his life in the vigil shut down. 4 versus 4.
They didn't quite know about the player above. The blinds come out, and now they think they've got control of Square. But this, the slow, steady rotate underneath the fight on towards the door. They don't know, but they still win it out. Great motion there from Surf. You could see he wasn't quite sure on the direct location of the player. Now, with the man advantage in a minute 20, they still have to try and find their way into the site. They are blinded out, and there's Ambi shooting a blinder across the back end. Another Candela. Don't need to cook it. It's rolling to where it needs to be, opening up a little sight line on towards the rotate.
What is that? That's a pixel. Ambi should be asking for a refund. Surely they don't lose the round off of a shot like that. And Surf's going to get brought back up, though, at the very least, to make it still a player advantage for Shopify. And they've got 50 seconds, but Ambi would be ropeable to lose his life in that manner. What can Souls and KDS do? It's another one from KDS. Now down to a 2v2. Old head Canadian on the Montang has clutched up a couple of times in this series. Will need to do so once again.
Currently a 2 versus 1 as the man's going for the plant, but they're not going to put the pressure on. Instead, they use the time to rotate, and there's the reveal, the position and the player. But look at the aggression right up towards the Monty. Now it's a 2 versus 1. Canadian. He knows he's in a tight spot, but he can't make it happen. Souls and KDS.
How have they lost that round?
Onto the sort of pressure of Surf rather than Canadian at this point. They're going to try and drive the Os.
Canadian has to go in now. Like, this is it. This is the go time, and he finds himself over towards the bomb chassis. Into CO. Oh, he's shot in the back by Cyber. No. And with that, FaZe have taken away the win condition for Shopify Rebellion. It feels like Ambi's got a lot to do pushing through Canada. this young star with a chance to shine at the Six Invitational. Surf alongside him like Robin to his own Batman. Into the flames he goes, but up in flames may go Shopify. If he can't close it out on the diffuser, he goes to stick it. Vidiking with 2, then 3, and just like that, it's all down to Ampy in a 1 versus 4. Shut down by Souls. FaZe will take down Shopify Rebellion.
The difference was a single